Hello guys, welcome back to Anita Cratchits. My name is Anita and I'm here to add something to the wardrobe of everyone that is a beach lover. This skirt evokes a gentle sway. It kind of like gives that gentle flair. Oh my god, this skirt is super airy. The stretch can take all sizes, and I love it. So we are going to get into making this skirt. The written pattern is going to be on my online shops, and later we shall learn how to make this cheeky arrow top. So let's get started. And now here we are. This is the yarn I'm going to be working with. It is Robin 100% acrylic and it is size 4 yarn. I am working with a 4.5mm hook. Okay, please do not care about my nails. I have been moving the previous weeks, trying to move into my new place. I haven't found time for most of these things. But yes, let's just dive into the tutorial and learn something. So to start off, I am going to work a slip knot and I am going to chain multiples of 4. Okay, but the chains that we are working are going to be equivalent to our waist measurements, because like I showed you how stretchy this skirt can be. I feel like we need to be working with only our waist measurements because it's going to be in position to give us a stretch to fit the hips of whichever size, for as long as we get the waist measurements right. So let's work foundation chains equivalent to our waist measurements, but let them be in multiples of 4, and then we shall add 3 extra chains at the end. Okay, so I'm going to work my chains until I have achieved chains that are equivalent to my waistline, and I'm going to get back to you guys and show you what to do. Please remember that a written pattern is available on my online shops, Etsy, Coffee Shop, and Ravelry. And then yes, just in case you purchased the written pattern and you need enlightenment, this is the video for you. Okay, so let me get back after I have my chains and show you what to do. And here we are. I have all my chains. Remember that at the end of it all, we have to add 3 extra chains, so don't forget that. Now, I have all my chains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I do not twist my cord. Just to be accurate, let me just show you how it is here. When I folded it, this is what it gives me. So I get 13 inches. And if I multiply 13 by 2, I get 26. And that's exactly, the waistline I was working this for. Okay, so I am on track. Please make sure that you do not stretch out your cord to meet your waist measurements. Let it be laid down and let you measure it from down so that it is not stretched. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to get into the first chain stitch that started this cord, and we are going to work a slip stitch to close up our work. That gives us more like a ring. So what's going to happen is I'm going to chain 2, and into that very first chain stitch I'm going to work a double crochet, and I'm going to continue working 1 double crochet into every chain stitch all the way around, because now this is my waistline, so I am just trying to work my double crochets into which my drawstring is going to run. Okay, so let's just work our double crochets all the way around, and then when I get back I'm going to show you how to end the row. So now here we are. I am at the end of my row, so I'm going to get into the second chain stitch of the 2 chains that started the row, and I'll work a slip stitch. So now to start the salmon stitch, we pull up a loop like this, and now I am going to yarn over and pull through this into that loop like that. But remember, I am holding those three strands like that, and now I'm going to get into that very same loop we just pulled through, and now yarn over and pull through a loop. So we have 2 loops, and then I'll yarn over and pull through all 2 loops. So that's our first lover's knot or salmon knot, and now we are going to work the second one. Usually it is called a double salmon knot, okay, a DSK, right? Because I am working 2 of them before now I start to, skip stitches and all that. So yes, this is it. I do the very same thing like that, pull up a loop, pull through, and then, insert my hook into that very same loop and pull through a loop, work my single crochet. So I have double salmon knots. They're like 2 knots. Now I'm going to count 3 stitches and skip them, get into the 4th stitch and work my single crochet like that. So this is how your work should look like. Now to work my second salmon knot, still I'll pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through that loop, hold it back like that, insert my hook into it, pull through a loop, and now yarn over and pull through both loops. So once again, because we are working double salmon knots, I'll pull up a loop again, yarn over, pull through that loop, and then get into that very same loop and work my single crochet just like that. So we have my double I have my double salmon knot. So I'm going to count 3 stitches, skip 3. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, get into the next stitch and work a single crochet like that. You see how it looks like? I'm having a new tripod. It's kind of like high, a little bit high. I'm still learning to work with it. It's not the same tripod I had initially that used to work well on the sides. So just in case this is not so visible, I am so sorry, but I'm going to try and see that I learn to use it in my next videos so they are much better and more elaborative. So we are going to go ahead and continue working our double salmon knots, just like we have been doing. It's very simple. And there we skip 3, you count them, and then into the next stitch you work your single crochet just like that. So this is what we are going to keep doing repeatedly, pulling up a loop, yarning over and pulling through that very loop that you just pulled up like that. Get in there and work your single crochet, and then do the same thing for your second salmon knot. Pull up a loop. There is no accuracy in the loops, but honestly the pattern still comes out very perfect, like, yes. So you skip 3 and get into the next stitch and work your single crochet. Now you're going to keep doing this all the way around until you have 3 stitches left to end your row. That's why I'm going to meet you and show you how to end the row. Honestly, the other thing I didn't mention in this tutorial, you are going to learn how to work with the salmon stitch in rounds, all right, in rounds. So let me meet you guys once you have 3 stitches left to end your row, and I'm going to show you how we end the row when we are working with the salmon stitch in rounds, all right? So this is how your work should look like. Let me get back and show you how to end the row. Here we are. I have 3 stitches left to end my row, and now this is how you get to end your row. You will pull up a loop like that, yarn over, make that yarn over be of the same length as the loop you just pulled up, all right? Just like that, and I'm going to hold these the loops on my hook, and now I'll insert my hook into the very first single crochet that started the row, and pull up a loop to match the length of these other loops. Then I'm going to yarn over, pull through all the loops like that, and then yarn over, pull through again. That's like a chain one. And now I'm going to get into the back of these 3 loops and pull through like that, and then I will yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, creating a single crochet. I hope you saw that. So now you can see that I have ended up at the center of my double salmon knot, okay? And that's what we are looking for, to end up at the center of these 2 salmon knots, because if you end up, down, you are going to spoil the whole entire pattern. So now we are going to work our double salmon knot by pulling through a loop and pulling a loop and pulling through a loop, and then inserting our hook into that very same strand of yarn and work our single crochet. And then I'm going to pull up a loop, because remember we are working double salmon knots. So to work my second salmon knot, I do the very same thing. You see that? Now of course I'm just going to skip 2 salmon knots and get into that single crochet that ends the second salmon knot, and I'll work a single crochet in there. Okay, once again I pull up my loop and work my double salmon knots. So it's basically just working your first salmon knot, and then once you have that single crochet like that, then you work your second salmon knot, just like that. The longer the loops that you work with, the bigger your holes are going to be. So once again, we skip 2 salmon knots and get in there into that single crochet of the second salmon knot right there, and there we work our single crochet, just like that. So once again, work your double salmon knots. Yeah, that's the first one. And then pull up and work your second one, just like that. And now once you have that, you are now going to skip 2 salmon knots and work a single crochet into the single crochet of the second salmon knot, okay? And yes, no change of anything. This is exactly what you are going to be doing all the way around. And I'm going to meet you on the very last salmon knot, on the very last 2 salmon knots, so that I show you how to end your row once again, so that you can master this. Because after this, we are going to just be doing the very, very same things, okay? So let me let you guys go all the way around, and I'm going to get back and show you how to end this row. So here we are. You see that? I have come all the way around doing this, and this is how my work looks like. So to end my row, as you can see, I have 2 salmon knots left before the one that started the row. So it's not any different. What I did previously, how I ended my row previously, is exactly how I'm going to end this one, but let's just do it so that you guys can get familiar with it, okay? So yes, I'm pulling up a loop and yarning over, making sure that the yarn over I have made is of the same height as the loop I already have. And I'm going to get into the single crochet that started the row in there, okay? And I'll pull through a loop, make sure it's of similar length as these other loops, then yarn over, pull through all the loops, work your chain, and then get back behind those 3 loops right there and work a single crochet. Pull through, like yarn over, pull through, work a single crochet. You just go behind the 3 loops that are facing you and pull through a loop and work your single crochet just like that. So yes, same thing as always. Please remember to turn your work. Please remember, I forgot for the first rows, yes, but I later did it. So after you have this, once you work your double salmon knot, turn your work to get started on the next row. Okay, just like that. So once you turn it, you skip 2 salmon knots and you get into the single crochet of the second salmon knot and work your single crochet just like that. And then just go on and on with the salmon knots that we have been doing, all the way around, and just keep doing that repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. You can make a maxi skirt, you can make a short skirt, it can have fringes or not, decision is up to you. This is a 1-step repeat pattern and it's very, very simple. So that's how you create your salmon knots and go all the way around, working it in rounds. Once you get here, you do the very same thing that we did when ending the row and just repeat that until you have the length you desire for your skirt. It could be a maxi skirt, it could be a short skirt, but just do this until you have the length you desire. And after you have that, we are now going to get back and see how to put the fringe. So here we are. This is how my skirt looks like. When I thought I have the length I need for my skirt, I stopped working. I stopped with my rows, and you can see how it looks like. So once you have the length desired for your skirt, you are now just going to cut your yarn at a length similar to the fringes or the length of the fringes that you're going to have. So once you have that, then we are now going to get into cutting our cutting our fringes to a length that we desire. And then I'm just going to get back and show you how to attach the fringes, all right? So the fringes are going to be attached into those single crochets right there, like the single crochets that are in between every double salmon knot, all right there. That's where we're going to be attaching our fringes. So I didn't like a very, very thick fringe, so I was using 2 strands of yarn and folding them, just like you can see. This is how they look like. So I was getting 2 of them like that and making sure they are of similar height. And yes, like I said, we are working into the single crochet stitch that's in between the 2 salmon knots, right? So I'm going to get in there in one of these single crochets right there, and I'm going to insert my hook, get this loop on it and pull it through. Then I will yarn over all the yarn strands or the yarn ends and pull them through that loop so that I fasten my fringe just like that. So we've added our very first one, and I'm going to go ahead with the second one. Still I'm working with 2 strands of yarn. I'll get into that single crochet, the single crochet in between the double salmon knots, and I'm just going to add my fringe just like I did previously and fasten it to make sure it's fully attached. So this is what you are going to keep doing for all the single crochets in between all the double salmon knots that we have on the whole entire hem all the way around. And once you have that, we are just going to now make sure that we add a drawstring to our waistline so that it's in position to like fasten it and give us that snatched waist, with a flowy airy flare. So to attach our drawstring, I'm just going to get my yarn and work a slip knot and chain as many chains that are in position to go all the way around my waist and make a knot. I usually work about 250 250 given the size I'm working for, but it's usually 250 chains to 300. It's a chain long enough. So yes, once you have your chain that can go around your waistline, with the help of your yarn needle, you're going to run it through our very first row of the double crochets that we worked. Or you can get handy like I am. I usually just go around fixing it with my hands without using the yarn needle, even when I know the yarn needle gives me a faster result. But yes, I'm that handy. So once you have that, honestly, we have our tutorial complete. Our skirt is complete. We just need to look out for the nearest beaches so that we have this flair like on the seaside. Like, honestly, this is a very, very fast forming project. I hope every beginner can jump onto this one. I am really, really grateful that you all take the time to watch my creations, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really love you. The fact that you wait for me until I am back. I am on and off, but I love the fact that even when I come back, you guys keep just showing me the same love. I'm very, very grateful for that. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me see you all in my next tutorial, which is going to be for the top that you see on this mannequin. And also the written pattern for this is already on my online shops. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let me see